Yo, what's good, everybody? It's the Bronx Squirrel back in the building. And let me tell you, this one hurts. Yankees just dropped game 1 to the Sox, 3-1, and it stinks, man. They were right there. They had a shot, but Boone flat out blew it. Alex Cora straight up outmanaged him. No doubt about it. Fried should have stayed in. Wells should have been out. Rice should have gotten that chance. Basic moves, and Boone missed them all. It's frustrating because the Yanks were close, but instead of pulling out a win, they gift-wrapped it for Boston.
If you're a Met fan, you don't root for the Yankees. If you're a Yankee fan, you don't root for the Mets. And you wonder why the Yankee fans yesterday were dancing on the graves of the Met fans. Of course they were. They were happy the Mets were eliminated. That's what fandom's about. There's no self-respecting Met fan, I think, on this planet that could be rooting for the Yankees to win in the postseason. Why? And please, again, I'll listen if that's your answer. Well, I'm rooting for New York. Really? Well, what a civic-minded person you are. Then you're really not that big of a Met fan. Because if you're rooting for the Yankees to win the World Series, what, you're going to deal with the whole winter of hell as Yankee fans laugh that you didn't make the playoffs and they won the World Series? That makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. Drew in Long Island. Drew.
Hey, Michael. Very interested to see your reaction to the Mets collapse. And I was watching some of your show yesterday. And, I know obviously it's the easiest day in history to dunk on the Mets for what we all know that, yes, we suck. We collapse. It's one of the worst, most embarrassing performances by executives, the roster, the whole, what you name it. But if we're talking from a Yankee-Met perspective, right, the Yankee fan used to mock the Met fan for celebrating Yankee Elimination Day as, the end of their season. Now, if we're talking about changing the culture, the Mets have a long way to go about that. But the signing of Soto, this is year 1 of 15 that you got to watch him in a Met uniform.
Absolutely.
And if the Yankees, right, do not go forward past this week, then people like the Yankee fans, like yourself, who are gleefully enjoying the Mets' demise, you will have a lot of crow to eat because of the fact that that was your World Series this year. Watching Soto fail, watching the Mets fail, and hopefully the Yankees can get over the hump and beat a non-AL Central team for the first time in a while. But it's a long way to go.
I would tell you this, Drew. If the Yankees lose to the Red Sox, yes, they have to eat crow, but not as much crow as Met fans. And also, I'm not happy about the Mets losing. I'm happy about the Mets losing for the people that were nasty and vindictive and vile to me. If you listen to the entire thing I said, I said I have a lot of really close friends that are Met fans, and I feel for those guys. And I really like Carlos Mendoza, and I really feel for Mendy. I'm not dancing on the grave of Met fans. I'm gleeful of the people that mocked me about something that I didn't even say. That's all I said, so don't put different words in my mouth. I love that some of the reactions I got from people, particularly Met fans. It's unbelievable how Kay made it about himself. It's the Michael Kay show. Who am I going to make it about? James Franklin? It's my show. It's how I look at things, how things impact me. My show. Why are you shocked by that? Do you know the name of the show? The name of the show isn't the sports show. The name of the show isn't let's have a real good sports take, hot take, something like that. It's the Michael Kay show. It's going to be about what Michael Kay feels about things. It stunned me that people were like shocked. Well, look at him. He's making it about himself. Damn right I am. It is about me. It's the way I was treated and unfairly by a subsection of Met fans that are miserable and weren't hugged by their parents. You think I'm happy that Met fans are unhappy? No, just those Met fans. I'm thrilled that they're unhappy. I'm gleeful that they're unhappy. I'm glad that they're glum, just like Juan Soto was when the Mets came into Yankee Stadium during the first Subway Series. I never said he'd be glum for the rest of his life. And you know what? I also come to grips with this. I know this is true. He signed through 2039. And I'm pretty sure that in the next 14 years, the Mets will win a World Series or two with Juan Soto. And whether it's next year, 5 years from now, I know that subsection of very angry people who hate their own life, that'll be the first thing that shows up on social media when Soto's in the middle of the clubhouse and having champagne poured on his head. Doesn't look glum now, Mike. I guarantee it. For the most part, they kept their mouths shut yesterday. for the most part. Because, I mean, what can you say? There's nothing to say. There's nothing to defend. Nothing. I mean, we just saw what our previous caller just said. Well, you're going to eat crow because you just want. The Mets not making the World Series is not the Yankees' World Series. Or the Mets not making the playoffs is not cause for the Yankee fan to celebrate. Because the one thing that people don't realize, Yankee fans are not as obsessed with Met fans as Met fans are about the Yankee fans. I think Yankee fans didn't like it when Met fans said, well, we're the big brother now because we signed a guy away that you wanted. Yankees did want Soto. And if you had to do it all over again, although their plan B worked spectacularly, and you could press a button, the Yankees would take Juan Soto, signing with them, and they'd go to war with that group again like they did last year. But because the Mets didn't make the postseason, that's not the Yankee World Series. You know what the Yankee World Series is? The World Series. That's the Yankee World Series. It always is. I'm sure Yankee fans felt some joy with the Mets, some of the big mouth subset Met fans who are hanging on the rim because they signed Soto, that the Mets didn't make it. I'm sure there are, but that's not their World Series because, strangely enough, their World Series is, the World Series.
Michael K. out here talking about Met fans can't root for Yankees, Yankee fans can't root for Mets. And he's right. That's the rule, baby. This ain't no kumbaya, hold hands on 34th Street situation. If you a Met fan and you rooting for the Yankees, you soft. If you a Yankee fan rooting for the Mets, you confused. This is war, not city pride, pal. And then you got these Met fans calling in like, yeah, we collapsed, but you Yankee fans gotta eat crow if you lose too. Brother, bro, stop deflecting. Your team folded like a $2 lawn chair in the Bronx summer. You can't throw shade when you're sitting in the dark. Take your medicine. Now K's out here saying he ain't happy the Mets lost, just happy the loudmouths that chirped at him are miserable. Bah-ha-ha. That's legendary. Pettiness in pinstripes, baby. That's the Bronx way. He ain't celebrating the Mets collapse. He's celebrating you collapsing. Chef's kiss. And all these Met fans screaming, K making it about himself. Io, it's called the Michael K Show. Who you thought it was gonna be about? Your Uncle Vinny? Get out of here. Man's right. It's his show, his takes. You don't like it? Change the channel. But stop crying like squirrels got your stash. Yankee fans danced on graves because that's what rivalries are. Mets talk about we the big brother now. Nah, you the cousin nobody invites to Thanksgiving because you break stuff. Bronx Squirrel stamp. Mets fans, stop begging for sympathy. You lost. Own it. Period.
Met fans, for the most part, are great. And I don't blame them for celebrating when they got Soto. That's the first time that the Yankees lost a player they really wanted to keep. And they didn't just lose him to any team. They lost him to the crosstown rivals. You had every right to celebrate. You had every right to hang on the rim. You did. I think, the big brother, little brother, that was probably a little much. But you listen, it was all in the euphoria of it. The only thing that I had a problem with is that I reported something that was absolutely 1,000% true. That when the Mets came into Yankee Stadium for the first leg of the Subway Series, Juan Soto was miserable. I was told by people in the Met clubhouse that he was unhappy and miserable. He was having a hard time acclimating. And I reported that. I never said that he was going to be unhappy for the rest of his career. And if people listen to the show, and you should, I said he was going to have a great year. And I wrote down his numbers today. He had a great year. 921 OPS, 43 home runs, 38 stolen bases, 120 runs scored. He had a great year. Never said he was going to be unhappy, that he was unhappy for the rest of his career for the next 15 years. Never said that. But again, there's a subset of miserable people who were not hugged by their parents, who just aren't generally happy in life, that they wanted to, stick that to me as a forever thing when it wasn't anything. Listen, when I say something dumb, and believe me, I'm going to say dumb stuff, I'll own it. Everything I say on this show, everything I say on Yes, I never back away from it. I could say, if I'm wrong, I could say, I ended up being wrong. But if I say something controversial, I'm going to own it. I never said that he was going to be unhappy for the rest of his career. I just said that when they came in the Yankee Stadium, he was unhappy. I stand by that. He was miserable. Miserable. You could see it. Yankees were talking about it. He had an unhappy look on his face. Glum. That's the word that stuck with people. But then people just wanted to run with that. Met fans don't have to apologize to me. Absolutely not. I talk about the time when I went to the Met game during the DiPietro and Rothenberg tailgate. They couldn't have been nicer. They're great people. They're really energetic, real fans. They love their team. But it's the ones that take it to the next level, like on social media, when I said that I was coming to the Citi Field that day. Well, you're going to eat concrete, stuff like that. Those people never showed up. But they're very active on social media. Very active. They're nasty. They're vindictive. Those are the ones that I was laughing about yesterday. But I know, as I said earlier, it's going to be something that it's going to be around for the rest of my life. As long as Juan Soto's a Met, and they are going to probably win 2 championships or whatever in his time with the Mets, I'll get it then. Fine, whatever. I laugh. Because you're harboring a grudge that doesn't exist, that you made up. It's something that you made up out of your own imagination. Cool. Be what you will. Let's go to Eric in Long Island. Eric.
Michael, thank you very much for taking my call. I absolutely love your show, even more so now that you're doing a solo act, especially after yesterday's little diatribe with Don. But number one is I couldn't agree with you more. I think you're absolutely right in terms of the one change you'd make to the lineup. I absolutely agree. I think he should be coming off the bench, if anything, and not starting at third. But I did ask one thing, and I know it sounds crazy, so please bear with me.
Okay.
Because I did play Division I baseball, and I was drafted by the Tigers. I've been a fan for over 70 years. I'm just wondering, I know it sounds illogical, but was there any thought to not starting Fried tonight against Crochet? Because Fried could be brilliant. He could be absolutely brilliant and still lose if they don't hit Crochet and they don't do well against lefties. And then who are you left with as your third starter? Whereas if you start your third starter, I guess Heel went so recently he can't, but maybe there's another. And I'm not saying throw the game away because that's not the way the Yankee thing is. But at least then you could come back with Fried and Rondon against Boston's 2 and 3, and I'd take those matchups any day.
Okay, let's talk about let's talk about this because it's interesting. First of all, I don't think you could do that, Eric, in a best of 3. Because if you lose the first game, you're very close to having your season end. So let me ask you this. Do you think the Red Sox considered not pitching Crochet because Max Fried's so good? You can't concede a game because the guy's a good pitcher. And the Yankees have a much better Game 3 pitcher than the Red Sox do. They have Cam Slittler, who finished with an under 3 ERA, who throws 99 miles an hour from start to finish. And the Red Sox don't even have a starter for Game 3. They're going to have a bullpen game. You can't go into Game 1, Eric, thinking we're going to lose because it's Garrett Crochet. I mean, Garrett Crochet is one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's not even arguable. But in 4 games against the Yankees, his ERA was 3.29. It's not like he was Sandy Koufax, where they couldn't even touch him. 3.29 ERA. They've hit some home runs against him. Judges hit a home run against him. I don't think that you could seed a game in a best of 3. It's almost an insult to Max Fried. So the Red Sox aren't moving Crochet to the second game because they don't think that they could beat Fried. So why should the Yankees move Fried to Game 2 because they don't think they could beat Crochet? Both teams are better against righty pitching than they are against lefties. So the Red Sox are at just as much a disadvantage against Fried as the Yankees are against Crochet. I mean, the Red Sox are starting Refsnyder and Eaton. Refsnyder and Eaton. So, I mean, the Red Sox lineup is not like thunder and lightning by any stretch of the imagination. No. I listen, I'm not going to disparage your thought on it, but I don't think you seed games in a best of 3. Now, you lose one game, you're halfway out. You got Rodon tomorrow against Bayo, and then if there's a Game 3, you got Schlittler against a bullpen game. And the Red Sox bullpen at the end with Whitlock and Chapman, lockdown. But before that, nobody really scares you. Weissert's okay, but nobody's really frightening you. You know, Steven Matz, is he keeping you up at night? So, no, I'm glad they're pitching Fried. You put your best against their best, and let's see who wins.
Yo, listen up. Michael K. recorded this whole thing before the game, talking Mets. talking Soto, talking Fried versus Crochet like it's all theory. But now we got reality. Yankees went out there and dropped game 1 to the Sox, 3-1, straight up ugly. Boone played it wrong. Wells should have been pulled earlier. Rice should have gotten that spot. And most importantly, you don't take Fried out when he's still dealing. The man was locked in, but nah, Boone got cute, overthought it, and handed Boston an opening. And don't even get me started on the lineup. No spark, no fight. Judge can't do it alone, fam. K want to talk about not conceding games? Fine. But guess what? When you mismanage the arms, when you pull your ace too soon, you basically are conceding. And the Sox took advantage, plain and simple. So yeah, I hear K about putting your best versus their best, but Boone didn't let our best finish. That's the real problem. Yankees fans deserve better than this sloppy mess. All right, that's gonna do it for today's rant. Now it's your turn. Jump in the comments, let me know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, or if you think I'm out of my mind. And don't forget, hit that subscribe, smash that like. It helps the channel grow. We'll be back with more takes, more debates, and maybe a few arguments. Until then, stay loud, stay passionate, and I'll catch you next time.